Are you? I'm a little bit under the pump today. I was literally 2 minutes ago up in the house getting things sorted, trying to print run sheets. I've got one of them printed, the other one refused to do it. Okay, so I'm hoping the stream is running and we have some people here. Hello everybody, can you see me? I'm hoping so. So I can see I've got the stream running there and I think it's still good. Yep. Okay. Let's switch it back up to here. I'm going to pop the chat section out. And there we go, pop out the chat, which is great. And now I'm going to close this thing up, go to there, and give me a second. As I say, it has been one hectic moment. Crazy, crazy, crazy. There we go. Done. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Okay, how's everyone's week been? I'll pop this up a little bit as well so I can actually see it from here. I'm still shaking. Okay. Yes, there we go. John Lafferty, morning. Michael Christopher's morning, everybody. Michael, I had to think about what you said about my grinder, the bench grinder, and I am going to give you a demonstration as to why that guard on the left-hand side is not how it should be. I'm going to do a bit of chisel sharpening today. I know we did it last week, but I've mucked around with the things a little bit during the week, and I thought I'd show you how I grind a surface as well, like how I grind the bevel, and then move on from there. So that's all going to happen. Morning, everybody. Anton, hello from Denmark. Ian, Garthwaite, evening from UK. Hello from Wisconsin from Dave. Steve, look and sounds great here in Indiana. Wayne, g'day, Dave. Or should I say, Steptoe? Oh, thank you. Wasn't that a great show? Okay. Stuart Cottrell, have permission for the family to join my favorite show. Thanks. Morning from Michigan. Annie, hi. Jim, good morning. All right, let me read through. At least I got the format done. Okay, so we've got, check the stream's running well, interesting things from the week. Stump grinder video. What did you think of that? That was a little bit of a change around from what I normally do. For people that haven't watched the show before, the format's very laid back, it's very relaxed. I'll do a little bit of a chat right at the beginning. We'll jump into a bit of demonstration. I'm going to jump into demonstrations within the first 5 minutes odd. So people have been kind of watching and they're going, oh, it's just all talk. Well, it's not going to be all talk. I'm going to switch between this camera and the other one over there. So as I say, I'm going to show you how I use my bench grinder and also a polishing wheel on it. And also I'm going to sharpen a really old chisel that I've had lying around. I'm going to muck around with this plane here. This is my 4.5 Stanley. So if you want to, I'm going to disassemble the whole thing and then rebuild it. That'll be fun. I'm going to talk about this little guy here. You know what that is? That's a miniature Stanton bench that John made with his 3D printer. It's even got the little legs underneath. How cool is that? So I'll talk about that. I'll talk about the competition. Well, it's not really a competition, it's a giveaway. I'm giving these away. So if you've watched my Facebook page, you'll see I've got the link up there. Now also in the description box below this video, there is a link to how you can enter to win these. I've got one pair. Now I didn't go and buy these. I was given a pair of these green ones. These are blue, obviously. But I was given a couple of pairs by Eyemuffs and by George there and by George, I've got it. There we go. So George, J-O-R-G-E instead of a G. And so we're going to give one of those, this particular pair, and a spare lens. Now these things, I was a little bit pessimistic about it at the beginning. I was thinking, oh, how can they work? Are they going to really pull hard on your head? Is the vision going to be okay? Well, the vision's great. It doesn't push hard up against your eyes. There's ventilation. There's another pair that George sent out to me that's in this box. I'll show you all about those because some people have said they've had them before and they found that dust got in. Well, these ones dust doesn't get in. These are brilliant. Let's keep reading through. So as I said, that all came from the stump grinder video, which, yeah, what a difference out there. What a difference. All right, while we're here, how about I show you also, we're going to do some something interesting with the show. Every week I'm going to take a photo from possibly the same spot in my backyard. So this is the backyard at the moment, and I'll tell you what, I love this place. This place was tea tree and blackberry when we first bought the property 35 years ago. It was an old dairy that had become overridden with weeds, and it was just terrible. So Vicky and I have spent many years working on this place, and it's just a joy to live here. It's, you know, reaping the reward of all your hard effort. We've had some help here and there by different people, but mostly it was Vicky and myself that did the lot. So I'm going to take photos there as the season changes, because the first day of autumn, let me see if I've got another picture there. This is one of my trees. This is called a tulip tree. Now I've got a couple of tulip trees on the property. They become very large. And that's one of the great things about having a couple of acres. I'm able to plant these large trees, which is, you know, magic. We love it. So you can see that's the beginning of autumn. So for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere, I think you've just gone into spring. Well, as far as the calendar month is concerned, it's spring. So hopefully all of those massive, deep snow drifts are going to disappear, and birds will be singing. You'll get the blossom on all the trees, and it'll be magic. I'll have a quick read down through the section here. Morning. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get back through all of it. Darren, Alan, hi Dave. Matt, hi. Zane, morning from Canberra. John, Larry, how long have you been doing these videos, Dave? I've been doing the live shows for more than a year, every week. One week I was at a mate's 60th birthday. No, I hadn't seen him in around 10 years, because he came to a birthday of mine, and I hadn't seen him for 10 years. And I said, mate, sorry, I have to leave 8:30. I've got to get to bed, show in the morning. And so that's the dedication I've got to it. So I try and be here every week for you, and on time. Anton, do you have plans with Nick Ferry to do another live stream? You know, I wouldn't mind that. That was a bit of fun with Nick. We might be able to hook up again. It was very, very early days for us. So, you know, I'm just treading very carefully with that. Bill, Tiffin, hi from Edmonton. Major snowstorm here. That's no good. British Columbia. Mick, I'm in your house from Chicago. Govinda, morning, Dave, watching on Skybus, en route to Melbourne. Well, good on you. Look, there's a heap of chat there. I'm going to hook into a demonstration because I said I would. First of all, yes, we'll hook into a demonstration. I do this. If you haven't watched, I'm a little bit of a flibbity gibbet. So here we go to the other camera. All right. Now on the bench here, you'll see that I have a few items. Now last week, I was talking about this guy here. Now this is a little jig that you can use for sharpening plain irons and also chisels. So the top section takes a plain iron, and you can open it right up. And the bottom section in here takes a chisel. Now last week, I was trying to get it in between those two little wedge points. Can you see them there? I'll bring it up a little bit closer. See those two little wedge points like a dovetail? Now that's for a bevel chisel. Now I was using a firmer chisel, so I was having a chat to one of the guys during the week, and we reckon that you could sit it on top of these two bottom sections there, because they do not interfere with the roller. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to do that right now. I'll show you how it works there. And again, we used a very small chisel. I'll just tighten it up quickly. Without my thumb in there, of course, David, you idiot. Oop. So I tighten it up loosely to start, and I'm making sure that it's bedded down on the bottom there. It's sitting on those two chrome bars. See, it's way down below that. Now on the side here, I'll show you again. It says the distance away from this end for chisels. Now I think it says 25 degrees, it's 30 mil. Now how do I know what it is? Because I got one of these guys. I'll put my hand behind it so you can see what it is. It tells you all the angles. How's that? No, they're not Festal green, Zane. They are sky blue. Mine are Festal green. Okay, so what I do is I slide it in there, and you know what? We fluked it the first one. And it tells me straight away, just there. I'm working upside down and watching the TV at the same time so I can see what's happening. It tells me that's a 20 degrees. The next one up is 25. You know what? I reckon I'll go with 25. 20 was a little bit tight. We'll go with 25. See, 25 is looking pretty fine. Okay, so 25 degrees, we measure from the front for a chisel 40 millimeters. So I'm going to drop that in there. I should be using a rule, but I've got an old tape because, you know, I keep telling everyone, I'm a construction guy. As you would see with the video I did with stump grinding, I was at home there. I was in my element. 30 millimeters. What did we say? It's got to be 40. I'm still shaking because I was running around like an idiot. I was thinking, oh, there's no way I'm going to make it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, last week also, I didn't have a screwdriver. So this week, screwdriver, a nice wide blade, but don't over crank it because it's pulling on these two lugs here. And the pivot point is up there. So it's pulling on those, and you may end up smashing these castings. It would have to bend these two, but I think, just take it easy with it. Now, I've cleaned the back of this chisel really, really nicely. You can see it's got a polish there. So I'm going to give it just a little bit more of a touch on here, and I've got a little bowl of water. See, look at everything I got prepared for you guys. Put that on there, and up on the edge. Notice how I move it around the stone a lot. See that black developing on the stone? You can see it. I'm sure you can see it. That's the ferrous material coming off the chisel blade. Oh, it's so nice. I need to favour that side ever so slightly. On a skinny chisel like this, you just have to be really careful. But look at that. That's not coming up too bad. Whoop. When I can get it in the picture, here we go. I've got to lean off to this side a little bit more. There we go. Nearly. You can get an idea from it for there. But how good is that? So anyone who's bought this jig, and again, I'm not getting anything for telling you this jig, but if anyone that got it, bought it and thought, oh, Dave, come on, the thing's not working. It's not holding properly in there. Now, what I'm going to do at the moment is just going to flatten the back off. And then as I do, I strop. I strop by hand. If you're not comfortable doing this, use a piece of leather. Now, all we're doing is bending that burr off. And remember how I said to check a chisel for sharpness? On your thumbnail. If it grabs, it's actually paring, so it's not very sharp. I'm going to give it just the slightest little bit more. I can feel it rocking. And just a couple back, and then one back on there as well. Let's see how that goes. Oh, that's beautiful. Excellent. Very, very sharp. Now, this chisel's the one I'm going to work on. See, the first thing I've done is I've cleaned that back up down to the fine grade on this diamond stone. Notice how it's all polished all the way up to the edges. Look at what they used to look like. This has been rattling around in my toolbox for ages. Okay, Peter, yes, you will go to the corner. You've been late. Dearie me. And anyone that's left in the corner from a couple of weeks ago, you can come out now. I'm going to have a quick look down through the chat here. Jules Best from Snowy UK. Thanks for the melamine demo. Not a problem, Julian. Fred, almost have my Stanton bench complete. We'll send pictures. It's great. Oh, thank you so much. I love the Stanton bench. I haven't got it here at the moment. The reason being, when I'm doing the sharpening, I'll be pushing on this. And I noticed in the video last week, because it's designed with the cushion feet, it has that slight movement, and that's how I built the thing. But this main bench that I've got is rock solid. So there won't be any movement while I'm sharpening here. Let me have a quick look here. Recommendations between the Makita and the Festool tracks, or whatever you can afford. Like if a lot of people are brand loyal, and it's because every machine that they've bought with that particular brand has worked well for them. So I'm brand loyal as far as Festool's concerned. Some of their machines are obviously a bit better than their others, but the Domino I absolutely love, the Capex I love, their track saws I love, their drills, the little CXS drill, yeah, it's one of my favorite tools. I absolutely love them. The Rotex, the little sanders that I've got. I'm just having a look around the room. The EHL 65mm plane, just beautiful. Look, I haven't got as many festival items as Steve does, but that's okay. I tell myself while I'm going to sleep, it's okay. It's okay, David. It's I'm sure Steve lies there thinking, ha, I got more festival than Dave's got. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a quick touch on the back again. Now, I think, as I said the other week, this is down, and this is one of the reasons why I use laminate on the tops. I can wet stuff on here. It's not going to worry me. Now, if you have a look on the edge, you can see it says fine and extra fine. See the arrow on the extra fine is pointing, whoop, down. So that's saying this side is the extra fine side. And this was given to me by Matt Warner. How nice was that? So I'm going to give it the stone, not the shitty old chisel. Now, there's an interesting thing that I'm doing here. See it all coming off? You'd reckon that it was all clean, wouldn't have anything else coming off it, but there's still more coming off. Now, I'm going to give that a wipe, and you'll see the majority of the score marks are the direction that I've just been traveling. This is one way to test for flat. Now I'm going to take it to the other side. So I'm on this side. I was sharpening from this side. I'm going to, or flattening, I should say. I can't get the two mixed up. I noticed last week that I said sharpening. This is actually flattening the back. And this must be done before you're going to get any result. And you can see now it's cross-hatched both ways. That's telling me that that's pretty flat. Okay, I'm going to jump into the other camera again, and we'll go back to the chat on the other side. Give me a second. Flip that over, and this camera's waiting for me. Pop back in here. What do you think of this system, guys? I'm trying to mix it up as much as possible. I'll get a little bit more to read here. The other thing is, YouTube are talking about possibly having the chat for a live show, having the chat stay there. So if you watch a recording, as you're watching the recording, you'll see the chat popping up as well as the recording. So it will be just, people will say hello, hello, and this will be an easy way for me to monitor it. I don't know if it's started yet or whether it's about to, but they sent a little email out for people in the know, you know, for the special people. All right. Keep the channel afloat, as I say, links in the description area below this screen. So if you've got a mobile phone and you're holding it like this, that's cheating. You won't get to see any of the information. Turn it like that, whatever you want, and watch it, and then you'll get the screen up the top, and then all the information below, and possibly the chat. I'm not sure, but give that a try. Okay, I'm going to slide this down a little. Okay, well, that's the end of the chat there. That's fine. I hope we're still streaming. Yep, I'm using an OBS studio. I am using OBS to do it. It's an open broadcast studio, and it's a free piece of software, and it works quite well. I'm very happy with it. Took me a little while to get the hang of it. I was using Wirecast, but Wirecast wouldn't let me jump in and do other kind of cameras unless I spent a lot of money on, and wouldn't let me use my wireless mic, which I'm using here, which makes a huge difference to the sound. And hopefully this week it's syncing. I've kicked it up a little bit faster. It was 200 milliseconds advanced around about 2 weeks ago. Then I took it up to 250 last week. This week I'm at 300 milliseconds advanced. So before I noticed something hit the deck and then clunk, you hear the sound later. It's a little bit disturbing. Okay. 7931, more thumbs up, people. Well, thank you very much for that, John. Keep moving along, keep moving along. Stanley 4.5-inch smoothing plane, I've talked about that we're going to pull this apart and do a quick rebuild. Cleaning up an old chisel, sharpening jigs, update on that jig, which I've just done. John Lafferty's solution to sliding compound miter saw rails. I've got a little video that John set up, and I've taken the sound out of it because John was feeling very tired when he did it. So he said, Dave, Could you just talk over it for me? So I'll do that for you, John. Not a problem. That's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit late this morning, because I was running around doing all that stuff. Johannes Boa. Now, he has sent a video to me about, 5 years ago. No, not really. It was just recently. And Jamie, good. Now, when you get there, tell Peter Lysiak he can come back out. But remember, anyone who's late, if you don't have a note, corner, then when I let you out, you can come back, sit down in the front row, so I can keep an eye on you. And no teasing the person next to you. All right. All the other good children are sitting there neatly with their hands on their laps. Do you remember that from school? I think it was infants. And there was always one kid. There was normally a girl that had the neatest clothes, and her hair was immaculate, you know, even though she was 7. For crying out loud, 7-year-old kid, they should be running around getting filthy, having a ball in the garden. But nope, all dressed up like a baby doll, and neat blazer, everything, the correct school colors on the ribbons and everything, the hair. I'm sure I'm not the only person that's experienced that. And they would never be in the corner. And they were normally the class, you know, monitor or something, and they would help the teacher mark books, and she had the neatest writing. There had to be people like that at your school. All right, okay, there we go. That was a little bit of a trip back down memory lane. So Johannes is a video on the chamfer tool and the super dog, and I've done the pictures of autumn, and I'm going to try, as I said, John Lafferty last night sent me an email. I said, Dave, how about you do one every week, and we can watch the transformation. So how about someone in the Northern Hemisphere, not everyone, jump out there with a mobile phone, take a photo. If you've got some really nice flowering trees that are going to be a real picture during spring, throw them up for us, and we'll... no, you can't drink beer in the corner, John. You're late, Joe. You've got a brown. You've got a note. Good on you. I wish the kids in my class would respond when I spoke like that. Okay, Matthew. Well, that's the difference for the moment. They're probably texting behind your back or sending little Facebook messages saying, what are we going to do to this guy this week? Do you find that happens at all? I reckon it'd be a horrible thing. Or do you ban the phones from going into the classroom? They have to just leave them all outside. That's what I'd be doing. Anyway. How often will you need to re-wax the Stanton bench? I haven't done it. I haven't re-waxed mine at all. But I really hit it hard before I put the tapes, the anti-slip tape in, so that I didn't have to worry about that too much. When I do re-wax it, I'm going to have to use a sanding block with a little bit of t-shirt wrapped around it, something like that, and really buff the new application of wax up that way. That'll work. That'll work. All right. Photos from where you're watching or projects you're building in the shop. Also, animals in your shop pics, please. And how about we have a quick look? I think we've got one here. This is Stuart West's blackbird. Now, this blackbird has been hanging around him for a long, long time. It actually comes over and follows him. And Stuart is costing him a fortune with mealworms. And apparently they have babies all over the place, not Stu and the bird, but the bird and his girlfriend. That's the bird's girlfriend, not Stu's girlfriend. Anyway, they've got a whole lot of little baby birds, and they all come back to visit him every year. And the blackbird sits right beside him, beside his elbow, and talks to him. So that's pretty cool. And while we've got that picture there, Stu's also building his new workshop. And he says he's nearly getting there. He did all the gyp rocking. It's been 15 months. But he says he's old, and he said he'll be fine. He'll be fine, not to worry. Okay, back to me while I have a quick look down the side here and see what else we've got. Are you guys enjoying the breakup in the format like this? It's, you know, I'm trying to mix it up for you guys. Whilst we're here, how about we have a look at Johannes's, not his video, but this is a thing that he put on the Facebook page. In the Dave Stanton live stream Facebook. So if you want to, you can apply for that to join it. I don't let anyone in. I'm a bit hard on who I let in because it's a great little community. And he was talking about different tracks, T-tracks that he'd got, and one to allow his Festool lever clamps to work in rather than just T-bolts. and he bought this one. It's a T-Track Regular is what it's called. Now, I've searched around and I've found some links also down below the description box again. And I had a look at the site that he showed me. And now this is a German site. And I just told it to translate it. And blow me down. Look at it. How good is that? It's just all popped up in English. And it's English all the way through until you add something to the cart. I notice if you add something to the shopping cart, all of a sudden, oh no, it stays there. But then if you try and put another country in, like I put in, I don't know, it doesn't even have Australia. They don't even know that we exist, I don't think. But I think I put in Austria, and all of a sudden it all went back to German again. I couldn't read it. So maybe that's why they don't have it going to anywhere outside of Europe. But that was fascinating. Where are we? How's the stump grinding? All done. Yeah, beautiful. KJ Slots, a pint and power tools would make for a whole different type of live stream. Well, power tools are going to happen. Power tools are going to happen. I'm going to fire that bench grinder up in a minute. Well, I'll tell you what, how about we do that right now? I shall flick this over to there and aim that camera up a little bit higher from where we are. And you can see I've already got it set up. And you may even be able to, if you're lucky, if you're very, very lucky. There we go. Now this is my old 8-inch grinder, and it's a fast grinder. So it's not really a great idea for someone who's, I'm going to put the eyemuffs on, and I'm going to wear the G6s, because I think George would be over the moon about that if I wore something like that for him. These are the G6s. See, they're a whole different animal. They've got this protective all around the top here. And aren't they magic? They hold on like this. He says, don't pull them that way because they'll break. Well, I'm guessing that's what he's saying. He says to open them up, hand right around the muff itself, and then spread it open. So I'm going to put my specs on first and my muffs. Now, if I start talking louder, let me know, because when I have earmuffs on, I tend to talk a little louder. Okay, I'll tip the camera up ever so slightly. That's not up, David. There we go. What do you reckon? Have a look, good close look. They hold on really, really well. I'm wearing glasses underneath them, and it's not worrying them at all. I have noticed that they can pull to one side, so you just have to adjust them, because maybe your head's a regular shape. That's good. That's good. That's good. Beautiful. All right. Grinder. You'll notice on this side, the guard, I've reversed it. This side, it's normal. Why is this reversed? I'll show you. That's my buff wheel. So when I turn this on, this is going to be turning this direction. So I'll be able to lean a chisel against there to do the polish and strop it. That's why I did it. Okay, Michael, let's have a bit of fun with this. I normally keep a bowl of water beside where I'm grinding, and I always check first. Now, I've got the guards in position. This light will turn on in a minute. I get in here and have a quick look, and I keep my thumb and my finger as a reference point. Okay, so I don't move my hand at all now. That will stay there, and my finger will rest against the guard here. Now, when we're grinding, I need to take down so that the corners are nice. But what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to lay it down flat, and I'm just going to square the end up. Now, ordinarily, I'd have a square as well. So I've got it running. So here we go. Very slowly. Now I'm doing this so I can get an indication as to what part of the chisel needs doing. I need a little bit more there. This side is perfect. This side, can you see it's just rounding off a little there? As I say, I'd normally use a square with this. It needs just a touch more. Just a touch more. Can you see it there? Slightly rounded on this side. Don't leave it too hard. Now I can do this because I've dressed this wheel. Now even if you have a whetstone grinder, which this isn't obviously, this is just a stocko bench grinder, that's good. That's fine now. That'll polish out in a second. Even if you've got a whetstone grinder, you may want to use a grinder like this. I'll tip this up a little to go further away. Okay, you can see me all right? Close enough. You might want to use a grinder like this to do your shaping to start. The whetstone grinder is fine for doing all your finishing work, but this thing's going to do the shaping for you. Now I have to clean this up. I gave it a quick touch earlier, but I wasn't doing it very well. Now remember, I'm going to turn her off, and I'm going to let her coast down. And what I'll do is I will get my angle again using my finger off the edge here. Nearly stopped. Look, if I wanted to, and if you guys weren't watching, I'd probably just rest the chisel against it like that to slow it up. That's it. I can turn her on now. Got my finger there as the reference point. I'm using all of the stone, and don't get it too hot. If you see it go purple, you've gone too hard. It can be blue, that's not going to worry, but purple's not good. One or the other. See how it's going? It's going really, really well. Notice I haven't let go. I'm still holding on here. You like these, Johannes? Where are the girls? Bring the girls in, they'll all get impressed with me. We're in the sexy specs. Nearly there. Nearly there. I let go a little bit then, so I've got to get the angle again. That's it. Now also, there's no law saying that you can't put a second grind on it. See, I've just done it then. I've got a grind at the top. You can see the change in the shadows there, and a grind at the bottom. Now I'm going to be okay with that. The reason being, I'm talking too loud again, aren't I? I need to take a bit more off. The reason being, when I sharpen here, I'm going to put a steeper angle on than the hollow ground. Doesn't matter. When you get down real thin, you know it's going. That's pretty good. We'll turn that off. I'll take these off. Tip it up a bit so you can see me. That's better. Okay, so you can know when you're getting really close to being right, that you might start to get a little bit of color on the corners. Don't let it go too far because you'll destroy the hardening on it. Okay, that is pretty good, even though there's about 1 millimeter there, but it's not really 1 millimeter because the burr is there as well. I'm going to get the other stone, the extra coarse. This is the one that Matt gave me. I see Matt's in the crowd there watching. And read the side of the stone. It'll tell me what's happening here. Extra coarse is that way up. Now also, itchy nose. Last week I had the rubber section which goes in between the two plates. In between. And, oh, what's happening here? The camera's gone all over the place. Swing it back this way. Yeah, so last week I had the rubber section underneath. Don't need it. Don't need it. Just crazy. Push this back a little. Tip this down so you can see what I'm doing again. Alrighty. A little bit of water. Alrighty. A little bit on the back just to get rid of that. And I know I've gone back to extra coarse. That'll be okay. Hear it? Just sounds nicer when it's starting to be right. Okay, so that lip's gone. And now I can start on here. Now, you know I'm not using a jig because I'm rocking it. I'm rocking the chisel between the high point of the hollow ground and the tip. I do it so I know where I'm at. That's going to want to move, isn't it? So we need to make sure that there's no water under there. That's better. That all right for you? That's better. And then here. Figure 8. Nearly there. Beautiful. Okay. Just a bit more of a touch there. Excellent. Flip her over to coarse. I'm going to keep my eye on the time because I want to get a couple of things done. Flatten the back out again because we're just getting rid of that extra coarse grinding. It's like going through different grades on sandpaper. I'm going to bring this in even closer and down so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. That's looking pretty good. I am getting a little bit of water on the bench under there. Another piece of towel, that'll work, won't it? Is this boring? Probably. But we're covering a fair bit. Okay. Steve's not a fake. Steve, Shed Talk. Hi, Dave. G'day, Steve. How are you? Barry signed the note. Oh, Barry signed the note. It's an S-I-G, not an S-I-G-H. I've got it as good as I could. Okay. Steve Fortune, yeah, you guys. Okay, so we're nearly there. There's still that little dent there. Look, I'd love it to do this and all of a sudden, hey, presto, it's done. But the cold hard fact is you saw how stuffed the chisel was. I'm getting as much weight down there as I can. Beautiful. All right, let's go to a finer grade. which one is it? We'll go to fine, which is that way up. A little bit of water on it. Flattening the back out also helps to keep your stone consistent. Watch the water push away. So consistent leveltivity. Is that such a word? Vicky and I have this chat in the car sometimes. We say, right, well, there's a word that no one will have heard. We'll have to use that on the live show. And she says, I bet you'll never remember it. And she's right now. I don't. Oh, that is getting very, very sharp. Take it down to extra fine. Get rid of some of the junk on it. Right off the ends. Done. Now, why am I? Oh, that is wicked sharp, but I'm going to make it even worse. Look at this. That is a super keen edge when David can get the bloody thing to sit still. I'm looking into a camera and at the screen at the same time. So that's the result that I've got. And at the back, that is so sharp. Do you wash your diamond stones after you're done? I heard somewhere that if you do. Yes, I do. I do wash the stones after I'm done. What other headset? Check in the description box below and you'll see that they are called earmuffs. And I'm giving a pair away. Not the G6, but I'm giving a pair of the standard G muffs away. Oh, sorry, G muffs. What am I talking about? I'm an idiot. These guys. There you go. That's what you look for. Eyemuffs. When I can finally put them in the picture. As I say, they do these ones and also G6. Now, I put some links in the description box. You can go to George's site in Australia and get them. Just type in eyemuffs. Or I've put an Amazon link down there for people in the States as well. If you want to get them, go for it. And I think I've also done one for the UK. If you have a look down the bottom, also there'll be a little link to the little Amazon store that I've built. And it's got a link there, things I use, I think that's all it's called. Whole heap of stuff that I use in the workshop here. The Trend Air Shield Pro helmet, all that stuff. That's the one I was using when I was doing the stump grinding. I started off using the earmuffs, or the eyemuffs, but it just I was having so much stuff thrown at my face, I had to have full face protection because the stuff coming out of that grinder was unbelievable. All right, let's turn this around. You've had those eyemuffs before anyone else knew about it. Steve's the person who put me onto them. Okay, I've got this spun around. And you can see now my grinder has the switch at the back. And I have the light here. And I have my polishing wheel here. Now, you can't have the polishing wheel coming towards the chisel because the chisel will dig in and that would be ugly. It's got to go away from you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use a bit of polishing or honing compound. And this is Veritas's honing compound. Again, I had to go and buy it. Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. It's green. So if you can find some stuff that's green, you'll know that's why there's a bit of a green residue on there. So I'm going to turn the machine on. And she's spinning away from me. I'll put a bit of the compound on to start. There we go. See, it just buffs it off. And then I'm going to buff. Remember, it's spinning away from me. Now, there's something about this as well. You can roll the edge over if you're not careful using the compound. Just have to be careful. I'm going to pull it away from me as well, just on the top. You'll get the hang of it after a while. Turn her off. strop it up. Again, if you're not accustomed to this, whoever's in the corner, you can all come out now because it's nearly home time. William, you can stay out. You just sit down the front. Oh, I don't want to go into it too tight because that is super sharp. Super duper super sharp. I would also use a leather strop at this stage. And you'll probably try this method and you'll say, you know what, I tried it, Dave, and it didn't work. I stuffed the chisel. Oh, that's unbelievable. Look, you can see it. See where the polishing compound, I've rolled it ever so slightly. I shouldn't have gone that far on the back. I should have really just given it just a lick. But across the front there, you can see the micro bevel that's been created right on the tip with the polishing. Beautiful. Okay, now let's see if I've got something that I can give it a test on. This is just a little bit of old pine that I had lying around. Came off easy. That came off easy. Look at that. There's a little curly. There's no way that that would have happened when I first started out sharpening this up. All right, let's switch cameras back again and we'll have a look at some viewer stuff. Camera 2, transition, there we go. I'm starting to get the hang of this. Or how about, well, we will have a look at some viewer stuff as well. I think Johannes has got some stuff there, and also I've got some stuff from Brett. We'll do that first. Where are we? Autumn. Here's something. Here's something. See these? These are Louis Ubergs. Now, sorry, Louis, I should be calling you Louis Lee Uberg, isn't it? They have this thing where they take their wife's name in Norway as well. So I think that's wonderful. But I just know him as Louis, so that's what I did. So he built this little bench or little weight holder because he's macho man. And when I was shopping in Aldi the other day, I spotted, now give me a second, I'll get this fixed. Where are we? That'll do. There we go. I spotted these. There's a whole lot of weights up there. And I thought, wow. That's all for Louis. Where's the next thing I'm going to have a look at? One of the other things during the week, as I say, last week, Ian Kerry, one of the guys who comes into the forum all the time, he's doing a bit of work on one of his homes at the moment. He looked after me big time. He kept the workshop open because I couldn't get there in time, and yeah, it's just wonderful. I don't think he's going to do it for anyone else, but he's such a nice guy. And thank you very much for that, Ian. And we've had a look at Johannes's German site. We'll have a look at Johannes's chamfering tool video. Here we go. I'm going quiet.
Hey guys, it's me, Johannes here. I'm just going to show you the countersunk piece that I got from Axminster UJK, the path guide system from Peter Parfit. And I'm going to try to make a countersunk on the edges of the hole here, the 20mm hole, and use this path dog that I've bought also from Axminster just to make a test fit. This is just the knife that cuts it. It's not a knife, it's more like a scraper with some, yeah, sharp edges. So let's go. Should fit very well. Perfect. You notice here I've only one O-ring on. It's, yeah, deliberate, because having two O-rings on, it's very tight and you have to push it up from the bottom. With one O-ring it's tight enough for me, I can pull it from the top. Let's see how it fits. perfect, completely flush. So try to take it out again. Yeah, excellent. So this is an excellent product, and yeah, quality is very, very high from Peter on these Sparf dogs. Thank you.
Now you notice there that Johannes was talking about only having one of the O-rings in the Super Dog. I found, for some strange reason, I found that the dog holes were using all the same gear to do them in my ply Stanton bench. Everything's working perfectly. But in the MDF top that I made, because I made an MDF top as well during the video when I did the video on Peter's product, they've swollen, I guess, but the hole size is reduced, and I couldn't get the Super Dogs to get in there. So I don't know what the answer is to that, and I think I made comment in one of the videos as well about, I had that little bit of an issue with the Super Dogs, but it's not the Super Dog's fault. It's the product that I use. So maybe there's a better quality MDF out there. I'm sure Steve will put his hand up and say, yes, Dave, you're not using the cheap Chinese MDF. You should be using Polytech. I bet you. All right. What's the next thing we've got down here? Brett Guthrie. Now, Brett has also got some furniture that he's been building, and he's restored one. And this is one that he's restored, but he didn't actually get to do any videos before he started. So his wife loves this. She keeps it beside her chair when she's knitting. So she keeps all her gear in there. And then Brett also made the an accompanying unit for it. And I love to see these things. A little bit of putty there and sanding away. And I think he's also done some, it's all 4mm ply, I think, is all the panels. So he's rebaited that in, or trenched it in. And you see there's a pocket hole screw up the top there. He's saying that's the only pocket hole screw on the top, is that top rail. And he's finished it with Van Dyke crystals and 4 coats of shellac, because he wanted it to match the other one. And that looks very, very nice. There we go. Back to me again. What's the other thing we've got here? They've done the eyemuffs. Oh, here we go. This is the look. There you go. Wouldn't you buy a pair of eyemuffs as you saw that guy getting around? Oh dear. Polytechnic. Okay. All right. Why not clamp the stone in the Stanton bench? You can do. You can do indeed. Next week. Okay, he's asking about whether John's launched his page. He was ready to do it this week, but Julia, his partner, decided she wanted to test the page first before she went crazy with it. And so that's why we're waiting the extra week. But it will be worthwhile waiting. I'm going to go to the other camera, and we're going to have some fun with this other plane. Here we go. Now, talking about John, I'll move a few of these things out of the way. We've got a dirty big screwdriver this week, and this is my Stanley number 4.5, and I'm going to do this because people rouse on me for putting it down. Now, John has made these things with his printer, and that's a handle for a 4. It won't fit on the 4.5 because it's a different machine. There you go, see it at the back? It's a different shape, totally different shape. But the front knob is magic. And I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to tell you what I've done to it. So there's the brass nut, and I need to get my glasses. Yes, I'm sorry about the stuff up into the corner with you. Yeah, I need to go to the corner. All right, so this is the knob, and it's a little bit dirty underneath because the plane is old and it's been used. I'm sorry about that. So that's it. And that's the original. Now you can see them side by side. The blue one is slightly bigger. And I quite like the fact that it's bigger. Now, I don't know if any of you guys own a 4.5, but I found in this one, the nut used to sit up above the top here. It would never go into the hole there. The bottom would go in fine. All I did was I got a 3.5mm drill bit, and I put the 3.5mm and just slowly turned it and reamed it out so this would go down perfectly. 12mm is going to be too big, and I also cut the bolt section down ever so slightly. Let's see if I can get that so you can see it. There we go. So I've had this plane for nearly 45 years. All right, so pop that back onto there, and it just fits beautifully. This on the top, and if I wanted to, I could buff that up on the polisher. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm going to... Oh, this is... Don't do this at home. I'm going to hold the buff like so. Because it's a buffing wheel, it's not too much of an issue. They do get warm, so don't hold on to it for too long. I'll show you how it comes up. Okay, that's what it used to look like, right? Look at this. That's got to encourage you to... It's trying to find... There we go. That's something that Peter Lysiak could be proud of. There you go. Where to get cutters for the Stanley number 70 router? Dave, can you keep going past 12 today? I'm procrastinating from starting the painting in the room I'm renovating. Okay, for you, I'll go a minute or two past. So I'm going to pop this back in here. There are so many things. Look, I know a plane, and I like to dress the screws. See how that... Whoop, turn that around so you can see it. Can you see how the screw is sitting sideways? I like the slot to either go across or that way. Now, I know there's a couple of people that like it to go that way, and I'll probably do that. Also, I know that they like the timber to have the grain going that direction as well, and that looks pretty good. Now, isn't that a sexy looking plane? If you had that at work, either someone would steal the knob or everyone would be in admiration and they'd say, where the hell did you get that? And I'll tell you what, you come back next week and I'll give you the website. But that is beautiful. As I say, the handle at the back, I don't know if I'm going to change that or not. I quite like just having the one point of contrast. I might make a timber handle for the back. But at the moment, just that one point of contrast looks really, really nice. You know, just identifies it, makes it look, it's yours. There we go. Whoop, like so. There we go. And does it work? I'm pretty sure it does. Let me have a sight down the top here. Just slowly sighting down the blade. Yep. Let's see. Unsupported. There's the shaving straight out of the back of it. Sharp tools makes such a difference. And actually, I was going against the grain in that situation. If I had the Stanton bench here, I could have just locked it down and gone for it. And what I'll do is I'll throw it on there for the moment because I've got this here as well. Oh, the thing that that Johannes was talking about. See, look at that. I can put my Festool clamp in the mag switch universal rail. Not a problem at all. So I can put that there. I'm going past a couple of minutes for you because someone doesn't want to do the painting. And it comes on the other side. It's not going anywhere. Hi Dave, do you know what 3D printer John uses? I think I do, but let's see if John wants to tell you. Jason, we told you have to kill you. Yes, I'm surprised they don't come with Torx these days. Camphor Laurel tote. Yeah, I guess so. Let me see how this goes. Oh, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Doesn't that? It just gives me a buzz. I don't know, maybe I'm a bit of a weirdo, but I love working with timber. Isn't that nice? Now also, some people hold a plane like this, and that gives you a very good indication on how to keep it square. So hand around the knob, fingers under the front. Don't put it over the blade because that could be ugly, but just under there. And it does give you a little indicator as to whether you're holding it square. Beautiful. Alrighty, guys. I think that might do us for today. Let me swing the camera around the other direction. And we have gone past a little bit. The Festool clamps the same as the Bessie? Yes, they are. They're exactly the same. Bessie actually make the clamps and Festool put their name on them and have a green knob instead of a red knob. So there you go. I'll give you some inside running. John, the printer is a Dremel. I'll be upgrading as soon as I can. There you go. So come back next week because we'll reveal John's secrets. And also we will give you links to his new website, which will be launched next week. So it's well worth having a look because you'll be surprised what you get there. Now, the other thing, as I was saying, this set of eyemuffs, I think they're wonderful. Now, how many times have I told you guys, I will only tell you about things that I reckon are good. I've had some things come here I don't like, I send them back. These things, Steve Ennis got in touch with me and said, Dave, I think you should have a look at these. I got in touch with George, and George said, I'll pick you a few up, and he did. I'm going to keep the green ones, and I'm keeping the G6s, but I'm giving the blue ones away, not because they're crap, they're brilliant. These things are fantastic. I use them on the mower if it's not too dusty. If it's dusty, I'll also put my spaceman helmet on, the alien helmet. But very, very happy with those. So links to it's not really a competition, it's a raffle. It's called Rafflecopter. It's more like a sweepstake. It costs you nothing to do it. Jump in, click on it. I think it asks for a name and address and a phone number, because otherwise how the hell am I going to post it to you if I don't know your address? It's not for any data bank or anything like that. It's just so if you win, I can send them out to you. You have to comply with the conditions. One of the conditions is do something nice to someone or for someone or who you wouldn't normally do it for. So I've got a dirty big lizard just coming to the workshop. He's down there. He's about this long. A skink. They're beautiful. He's looking after me as far as flies and spiders are concerned. Even though I don't mind spiders. And the other thing is just drop in on my Facebook page. All the links are there. And what more can I say? Thanks for watching. Have a great week. And I'm going to have a quick look down through here. Everyone was happy with the show. Oh, the mini bench. Yes, yes. There it is. There's the mini Stanton bench that John made for me. Isn't that super cool? It's even got some of his accessories that will be available on his website. Obviously, not at 15%. They will be full size to work at 96mm centers in the Stanton bench. Now, I've glued this together, but it arrived. A couple of the legs didn't make it. So I've glued those back together as well. But how good is that? That is an exact replica. John used Fusion 360 to create it. Steve gave me a hand at the beginning. He did it in SketchUp for me. Not this particular one, but the main one. And then John has made it CNC capable in Fusion 360, and he's making one at the same time. But this is a 15%. How nice. Doesn't it give you a thrill when people do things for you like that? And you go, wow, there's a lot of really nice people out there. It's human nature. I'm the cup half full guy. I'm not the cup half empty guy. That's no fun. All right, where are we? Dibs on the blue one. Jason, Steve will be dropping by now. That is awesome. Matt Water, I'm going to get a set of eyemuffs for my shooting bag. I need my specs to see the sights. Clearly, it should work well. Steve Shed Talk. I have other things to do. My dirty work. Damn Australia Post. Great show, Dave. Okay, so Matt, if you want to get the eyemuffs, jump onto my Amazon link, which will be in the description down the box in the bottom, and it will go towards supporting the show a little bit. Same price as if you're buying it anywhere else on Amazon. So, why not? Okay, again, thank you everyone for dropping by. Have a good week. Be nice to each other, and I shall see you next time. Bye.